Hi everybody, welcome to Yoga Live. My name's Deanna. I am the director of the wellness department and the registered dietitian and your yoga instructor to help guide you through a nice beginner slow flow session today. So really listen to your body. Don't force yourself into any positions that don't feel comfortable. Don't go as deep as I may say, or go as deep as you really can. You know, you really want to just open certain areas of your body that are a little tight to help you move better throughout the day, and also reduce your pain. So it'll be very beneficial for your physical health, your mental health, keep you in the present moment and focus on the things that really matter, which is your values in the present moment. So wherever we get started today, I really want you to focus on your breath, your own natural sound, its rhythm. And we'll start by getting a nice comfortable surface. If you want to play music in the background on low so you can still hear my cues, that's great. But you'll just need a soft surface, like a yoga mat, something that you can stick on, nothing that slides around. This way we can activate our muscles properly. So let's start in Supta Baddha Konasana. So let's get on our sit bones. We're going to lie flat on our back. Bring our soles of our feet together, our knees out wide. And if your hips are a little tense in this position right here, you can bring your feet further away from you. If it still bothers your knees or your hips, you can always extend them out in front of you in corpse pose. But we really want to be in a heart and hip opener. If you have a pillow, you can put it behind your back to open your chest a little bit more. And start to close your eyes. You can place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, and tune in to each inhale and each exhale through the nose. Inhale, filling up your chest, feeling your lungs expand, sending air all the way to your belly, filling that up. And exhale, hollowing out your belly, feeling it hollow, sending it all the way to your chest, expelling the air through your nose. Really match each inhale with each exhale, flowing very fluid next to one another. Relaxing every facial muscle, all your muscles and bones in your body, just really let loose here. Notice what places in your body feel a little tense and what places in your body feel a little bit more open. And we can use this knowledge throughout the rest of our practice to send air to open those tense places. If any negative thoughts or any thoughts come to mind, acknowledge them and just let them float away right now. And regain your attention to your breath. Really connecting every movement of your breath with the sound. And with each inhale, feeling the expansion from your chest to your belly. Connecting movement and breath. You can release your legs out in front of you. Inhale your arms up overhead for a full body stretch, stretching from your fingertips to the tips of your toes. And on an exhale, hug your knees into your chest, grabbing onto your forearms, and rock side to side, massaging your spine, coming in a tight little ball, leaving your shoulders down on the mat. Releasing your legs out in front of you. Inhale your arms back overhead for banana pose. Sending your hands over to the right of the mat, along with your heels, so that you're in a C-like curve, with the points of the curve facing towards the right of the room. Your eye gaze can be towards the left corner of the room, and you can grab a hold of the left wrist with the right hand, and give yourself a nice gentle tug up and out of the waist. Feeling the openness of the left side body. For a deeper stretch, you can cross your left ankle over your right ankle, keeping both shoulders planted down on the mat. Bring your arms back to center, along with your feet. Send your arms over to the left corner of your mat. Your feet and your hands to the left corner of the mat. Eye gaze over to the right corner of the room, past the right armpit. You can grab a hold of the right wrist to give yourself a nice little tug to open up the right side body just a little bit further. And cross your right foot over your left ankle. Feeling the stretch from your right ankle all the way up towards your hip, through your shoulder, out through your fingertips. With each inhale, lengthening up and out of the waist through the fingertips, getting long. And exhale, softening down into your mat a little bit deeper. You can even stretch a little bit more. Bring your arms and feet back to center. And then you can grab a hold of your thighs, bringing your knees in line with your hips. And start to rock back and forth, lifting your shoulders up from the mat, rounding the spine, rock and rolling, avoiding the neck, every inch of the spine, coming down and up onto the hips, or the sit bones. Really squeeze those abdominal muscles. Press into the backs of your legs. Press your legs into your hands. And once you feel more comfortable and you're gaining some strength moving back and forth, cross your legs upon sitting up and come into your first tabletop on your hands and your knees, stacking shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. Find a neutral pelvis and neutral spine, and get ready for cow cat. On an inhale, open your chest up to the front of the room for cow. Bring your eye gaze straight ahead and your tailbone up to the sky, spreading your fingers out wide. On an exhale, cat. Press into your fingertips around the spine. Bring your chin to your chest and bring your tailbone down, opening the back side body. Inhale, open your heart space to the front of the room. Reach your tailbone up to the ceiling and lower the belly. Exhale, press the earth away from you around your spine. Squeeze the abdominal muscles and bring your eye gaze at your navel, reaching your tailbone down. And go through a few cows and cats at your own pace. Remembering to keep your shoulders down and away from the ears. Squeezing the abdominal muscles as you round your spine in cat, pressing into your fingertips as well as all four corners of your hand, as if you're suction cupping your hands. Go ahead and bring in some organic movement. So revisit some places that need some extra light and love. Whether you're tense in your hips, you could come down from child's pose into tabletop. If you want to work into the abdominal muscles, go ahead and do some C curves, working into the obliques by bringing your left shoulder to your left hip and your right shoulder to your right hip, looking over the right shoulder. Or just let your head and neck hang heavy, saying yes, shaking your head no. And come onto your knees, stacking your shoulders over your hips. Really lengthen through the spine. Bring your hands on top of your sit bones, right by your lower back. Reach your tailbone down, squeezing your glutes and your quadriceps and your hamstrings. Squeeze the abdominal muscles. Bring your elbows close to each other on the back body. And start to send your eye gaze towards the back wall behind you, sending your hip points forward, giving yourself a little mini back bend. Going as far as you can without any strain, keeping length in the back of your neck. If you want to go for full camel, you can grab onto the tops of your heels. If not, just stay lifted with your eye gaze up towards the ceiling, heading towards the back wall. You never want to dump your joints into any position. You really want to use your muscles to protect. If you're in camel, bring your hands slowly, one by one, up to your lower back area and lift yourself back up. Bring your big toes together to touch. Come onto your sit bones for child pose. Extend your arms out in front of you and your forehead down on the mat. On an inhale, take a deep inhale through the nose, the biggest inhale of the day for our first cleansing breath. Filling up our chest, filling up our belly. Hold at the top. Wide open mouth, exhale it out. And one more. Take a deep inhale through the nose, filling up, filling up. Hold at the top. Wide open mouth, exhale it out. And you can use those breaths throughout the duration of your practice if you ever need to release heat and slow down your breath. Come back into tabletop. Stack your shoulders over your wrists. And start to send your hip points forward. And let your shoulders come past the wrist creases. So you're on your knees still. And slowly lower down until you reach your belly. Keeping your elbows close to your body until you get to your belly. Bring your hands in the middle of your chest for baby cobra. Really activate your quads, your glutes, your lower half of your body. And on an inhale, open your chest to the front of the room. Slightly lift your chest, really work the muscles in your back along with your lower half of your body. Exhale, bring your forehead down to your mat. Inhale, reach your chest up, squeeze your back muscles. Exhale, slowly lower down. On your next inhale, you can come into full cobra, extend the arms in front of you, keeping your lower half onto the mat. You can work your hands out a little bit more further for less of a back bend. Eye gaze straight ahead, squeezing the lower half of your body, pressing the tops of your feet into the mat. Exhale, slowly lower down. Push yourself back up into child's pose. And go ahead and thread the needle. Take your right arm, send it through the space between your left knee and your left wrist, placing your right shoulder down on the mat, along with your head gently. And you can bear weight of the torso however you'd like to really open up that shoulder blade. You can place your left hand by your face, out in front of you, or if you want to go ahead and do a bind to open up your heart space a little bit more, you can wrap your left arm around your back body, placing your fingertips on the inner crease of your right hip. Place your left hand to frame the face. And go ahead and take your right arm all the way up to the ceiling. Place your right arm down. And we usually do this in tabletop, but we're going to do it in child's pose. Take your left arm, thread it through, thread the needle, placing your left shoulder down on the mat. Feeling the openness of your left shoulder blade now. Keeping your glutes sealed to the tops of your heels. Placing your right hand wherever feels most comfortable. If you want to go and make a bind like you did on the other side, you can go ahead and do so. Aiming to really open up your heart space. Place your right hand to bring the face. Inhale the left arm all the way up to twist open to the left side of the room. Okay, come back into tabletop. Stacking shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Tuck your toes beneath you. And on an exhale, for downward dog. Lift your hips up and back. Really feel your tummy reach the tops of your thighs by pressing the earth away from you. Wrap your triceps down as if you're screwing the top of a jar on top of your mat. And notice how your triceps come down. Aim to keep your heels glued onto the mat as best you can. Your feet should be hip width distance apart. And over time, you can work to straighten the legs. If your hamstrings or lower back feel a little tense, just bend your knees deeply and let your belly fall on top of your thighs. Inhale, lift your heels up towards the sky. Keep those legs straight, those hips lifted, and your belly tight. And take little steps all the way to the front of your mat for a forward fold, separating your feet hip width distance apart or wider. Bend your knees deeply and grab onto either elbows for ragdoll. You can move side to side, or you can find stillness here, really releasing your head and neck and your whole entire spine, letting it release down. Bearing more weight in your toes to open up your hamstrings a little bit further. Or you can stay bent. Over time, working to straighten the legs. Heel toe your feet together. Inhale, bring your hands to your shins, come up halfway with a flat spine, flat neck, straight ahead for a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Hinge at the hips, flat spine on the way down, aiming to bring your nose to your knees as best you can. And on an inhale, reach your arms up overhead with your palms together. Look at your fingertips. And on an exhale, bring your hands to heart space. We'll do one more half sun salutation. Inhale your arms up overhead, eye gaze at your fingertips. Exhale, forward fold, flat spine on the way down. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift, weight in the toes, flat spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, arms come all the way up overhead. Take the inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Very nice. We're going to work through our full sun A. Inhale your arms up overhead. Exhale, forward fold, flat spine on the way down, slight bend in your knee. Release your hands by your feet. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands down, step into your downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees. Exhale, step or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise, arms come all the way up overhead, palms come together to touch. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center. We'll work through our sun Bs. Inhale your arms up overhead. On an exhale, sit your hips down and back into chair pose. Look down at your toes and make sure that they're still visible. If they're not, you're gonna have to bear more weight in your heels. Reach your tailbone down to the earth so that there's no curve in your spine here. Open your chest a little bit more and sit a little bit deeper. Shoulders down away from the ears and pinkies face in towards each other to activate the arm muscles. Inhale. Exhale, slightly straighten the legs for your forward fold, flat spine on the way down, leading with the chest. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands down, step into your downward facing dog. And if you're more advanced as time goes on, instead of going to your downward facing dog, you can move through your flow, which is basically your own groove to get you to downward facing dog. But the traditional way would be going into plank to chaturanga to upward facing dog or cobra and stepping into your downward facing dog. And if you take a look at my other videos, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. Inhale, lift the right leg up to the sky. Beginning of our warrior one. Really flex the toes towards our face, energy streaming through that right heel. And on an exhale, warrior one, place that right foot in between your hands. Really press into those fingertips to round the spine so you can bring your right knee in front of you onto the mat. Right knee bent over right ankle, straighten the left leg. Left toes are in line with the top left corner of your mat. Inhale your arms up overhead. Reach your right hip point back and your left hip point forward to square the hips to the front of the room. Pinkies face in towards each other, shoulders down and away from the ears, belly up and in, really lengthen through the crown of your head. On an exhale, place your hands down to frame the right foot. Step into your downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg up. Flex those toes towards the left shin. And really feel energy going through the left glute all the way to the left heel as if you're going to step on the wall behind you. And on an exhale, hug the left knee into the chest for warrior one. Press through the fingertips and plank. Step the foot in between your hands. Keep the left knee bent over the left ankle. Straighten the right leg. Place the heel down. Angle the right toes to the top right corner of the mat. Inhale your arms up overhead. Make sure that your feet aren't in one line here because we want to make sure that our hips are leveled and square to the front of the room. If not, you may have to step your right foot out or a little bit more in. Inhale up and out of the waist. Exhale, plant your hands to frame the left foot. Step into downward facing dog or move through your flow, ending in downward facing dog. Remembering in downward facing dog to keep those shoulders away from the ears, breathing space from the neck and the shoulder. Really pressing into those fingertips and leading away from your fingers, aiming to bring our belly towards our thighs. Inhale, lift our heels, bend our knees. Exhale, step or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, hands to your shins for a halfway lift. Exhale, hinge at the hips, forward fold, flat spine on the way down. Inhale, root to rise, arms come all the way up overhead. Hands don't come to touch, one more sun beat. Exhale, sit our hips down and back for chair pose. Really squeeze our abdominal muscles here. Open your chest to the front of the room. Reach that tailbone down. So there should be no splaying out of the touch. You really want to reach that down, squeeze your abdominal muscles as if you're about to sit onto a chair. One more inhale. Exhale, forward fold, flat spine on the way down, straighten the legs. Inhale, halfway lift, come up halfway, flat spine, looking straight down. Exhale, plant your hands down, step into your downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Keep your right toes pointed down and your right heel pointing up straight to the sky. And listen very carefully. We're going to go to warrior one, but I'm going to cue it a little bit slower. Take one more inhale. Keep the right leg lifted. On an exhale, shift your weight into plank. Keep that right leg lifted. Round the spine like cat as you hug the right knee to your nose. And on an exhale, step your foot in between your hands. Straighten the left leg. Plant the left heel down, angle the left toes to the top left corner of your mat. Your right toes will point straight ahead. Lift your torso, stacking shoulders over your hips. Reach that tailbone down, lift up and out of the waist with every inhale. And on an exhale, open up to warrior two. Peeling your arms open to the left side of the room, you're gonna peel open your left foot. So in this case now, you're pivoting your left foot, I'm sorry. So the edge of your back foot is gonna be in line with the back edge of the mat. So you wanna make sure that that left hip point is down instead of hiking that up. Tailbone down, belly up and in, shoulders are stacked right over those hips. So we're not angling our torso in any way, it's straight in one line. And the only thing that moves is gonna be our head towards our right shoulder with our eye gaze right by our index finger. Energetically draw our heels together to activate the inner leg line. And if I were to draw a line from my right heel, it should intersect the left arch. That's how you know you're in proper warrior two. On an inhale, flip the front palm, reach your right arm up and back for peaceful warrior or reverse warrior. Placing your left hand gently with little or no weight on your left thigh. Reaching up and out of the waist. And on an exhale, cartwheel the hands down to frame the right foot. Step into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg up, and I will cue it slower this time. On an exhale, shift your weight forward onto your tips of your toes, through your hands, rounding like cat, puffing up the space in between your shoulder blades. You're bringing your left knee to your nose. Exhale, step your left foot in between your hands. Lower your right heel down. Inhale your arms up overhead. Left knee is going to stay bent over that left ankle. Right leg is straight. Two hips in one line. Inhale up and out of the waist. On an exhale, open up to warrior two. Pivoting the right foot so that the right back edge of your foot is parallel to the right edge of your mat. Left toes point straight ahead. Hip points forward. Shoulders are stacked over the hips. Arms are spreading out in opposite and equal directions. Energetically draw your heels together. Belly up and in. Inhale, lift the front palm, reach it up and back for peaceful warrior. Stay lifted. Breathe length in either sides of the torso. And on an exhale, cartwheel the hands down to frame the left foot. Step into your downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees. Exhale, step or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lift. Shoulders down, away from the ears. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms come up and over our heads. And on the exhale, bring our hands to heart center. We'll work into a standing balance. So ground through all four corners of your feet. If you want to find your center a little bit more, lift all 10 toes. Squeeze the glutes. Legs are strong. In towards each other, towards the midline, and slowly lower the toes down. Pull up and in through your tummy. Tailbone comes straight down, shoulders down and away from the ears, chin is parallel to the floor. Really lengthen through the crown of your head, as if somebody's pulling a string from the top of your head. And once you gain that comfortability, grab hold of your right foot, place it on the upper inner left thigh, or you can place it on your calf. Energetically pressing your leg and your feet into one another to really find stability and activate your muscles. Find one point of focus. You can place your palms at heart center. And when you feel comfortable, you can grow your tree, letting your branches flow in the wind if you want to challenge your balance a little bit more. And releasing your right leg down. Switching to the other side, grab a hold of your left foot with your left hand, placing it on the inner upper right thigh or the calf, pressing your body parts in one another so you feel that stability. You really want to try and keep both hips in one line so you're not hiking up the hip higher than the other. Avoiding the knee at all costs. If you fall out of it, that's okay. The point of yoga is really to challenge yourself and explore. And no one's perfect. Inhale your arms up overhead. Do a little dance. Woo-hoo. Release your left leg down. Bring your feet out so that your toes are off your mat, your heels are on your mat for Malasana squat. Bring your hips down onto the mat, placing your elbows on your inner thighs, right by your knees, pressing into your legs with your elbows, opening your chest to the front of the room. Do your best that you can to really open up your chest. I know it's so easy to keep rounded, but really try and activate your spine so that it's flat. And breathe. Connecting each pose, every moment of every pose, with every breath that you take. Making a conscious effort, every breath, every movement. Come down onto your sit bones. Release your legs out in front of you. Actually, we're going to bring our feet together today. I got a really tight hamstring, so we're going to cater to me today. But if this doesn't resonate with you, listen to your body. So I'm listening to mine, so I expect you to listen to your body as well. So I'm bringing the soles of my feet together, like a butterfly, grabbing onto your ankles. And with a straight spine, lifting up and out of the waist through the crown of your head, hinge forward so that you feel the stretch in your hip flexors. Keeping a flat spine, eye gaze down, shoulders down and away from the ears. One more breath. And on an exhale, round the spine, sit a little bit back, pressing into the tops of your shins. Feeling the opening in the backside body, release your head and neck down. Inhale, upright, back to center. Release the right leg out. And bring the left sole of your foot on the inner right thigh. Flex the right toes. Inhale your arms up overhead. Position your torso in line with the top of your right leg and hinge forward. Trying to stay as straight as you can. If you want to work more into the spine, you can round as you get a little bit deeper. If you want to work more into the hamstring, keep that back and that spine straight. Inhale your arms back to center, and on an exhale, place your right hand down on your right shin for a lateral stretch in the left side body, reaching your left arm up and over to the right, aiming towards your foot, keeping that right foot flexed to keep your right leg down and grounded onto the mat, really bringing your left shoulder to the back wall to open in your chest. Inhale both arms back to center, release your arms down and switch legs. Placing your right foot on the inner left thigh, flexing the left toes towards your face. Inhale your arms up overhead. And on an exhale, position your torso towards your leg and hinge forward. You can grab onto the tops of your toes, or if that's not accessible to you, you can just grab onto your calf. If that's not accessible to you, you can always go as far as you can go, even if it's just your calf. And you'll notice different ranges of motions on either sides of your body. And that's okay. You know, one's more dominant than the other. I've had a lot of people ask me, is that okay? Of course it is. If you're more used to using muscles on your right arm, it's going to be more stronger than the left arm. Inhale your arms back to center. And on an exhale, reach your right arm up and over to the left. Opening the right side body. Breathing length to both sides of the torso so we're not dumping. We're lifting up and out. Really squeeze those abdominals to keep us lifted. Our right shoulder down and back. I like bringing my eye gaze towards the ceiling. Keep that left toe, the left toe flexed, the left foot flexed. Inhale, lift both arms back to center and release them down. Extend your legs out in front of you, as well as your hands, spreading them out wide. And slowly lower down one vertebrae at a time, squeezing those abdominal muscles as you hit every inch of your spine. Inhale your arms up and over your head, full body stretch. And on an exhale, bend your knees for bridge. Placing the tips of your fingers, brushing the backs of your heels. Your feet should be hip-width distance apart. And you're gonna be lifting your hips. So we wanna press into our heels, the backs of our hands, the palms of our hands, and the middle of our head. So slightly bring your chin to your chest, but there should be some space. We wanna make sure our back of our neck is lengthened. And on an inhale, lift those hips up, press into those hands, press into those feet. Squeeze those glutes. Keep those knees straight ahead of you. Exhale, slowly lower down. Inhale, lift the hips up, squeeze the glutes. Working into the hamstrings. Exhale, slowly lower down. One more. You got this. Make it the best bridge of the day. Inhale, lift your hips all the way up to the sky, keeping those knees in one line straight ahead. Don't splay them outwards, really pressing through the heel points. Lifting up your hips as much as you can. Exhale, slowly lower down. Windshield wiper your legs back and forth. By bending your knee and sending one knee to the right and left. Release your legs out in front of you. Release your arms out in front of you. Getting ready for Savasana. Start to close your eyes and embrace all the hard work that you did. For your mind and for your body, for your overall well-being, for being here, for participating, for supporting me and one another. Slowing down each breath, lengthening each inhale, and flow it with each exhale. Palms facing up for receiving, palms facing down for more grounding. Start to relax the muscles in between your forehead. Release the tension in the jaw by slightly parting the mouth and letting the tongue float in the hollow of the mouth. Releasing any expression that you may be holding. Relaxing all your muscles, letting them feel heavy. And take this next couple minutes or so in silence for deep relaxation and full surrender. And when we come to an end, I'll lead you out of your Savasana. start to bring movement back into the body. Wiggle toes, wiggle fingers. Nod your head yes, nod your head no. Inhale your arms up overhead for a full body stretch. And on an exhale, hug your knees tight into your chest, coming to a tight little ball, resting on either elbows. Rocking over to one side, letting your curves hit the earth beneath you as you give yourself this nice tight hug. Come up to a comfortable seat, placing your hands at heart center, sitting up tall and bowing in. I'd like to thank you all for letting me guide your practice today. It is my honor and duty to help keep you balanced and focusing on what's important, which is the present moment. And before we namaste, we're gonna do a couple more breaths. So close your eyes. On an inhale, lift your arms up and over your head for a count of 5. Hold for 5, bring your palms to touch. Exhale for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. Inhale your arms up overhead for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Palms come together. Hold for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And exhale for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Return to your normal breaths in and out through your nose. And I hope you enjoy your day. And always remember to return to your breath when things become a little hazy or unsure. Namaste. Thank you all for joining me today. It was my pleasure and honor. I can't wait to see you guys next week. Bye.